Today in this video we are going to be showing you how to use the water test kits, how to use and deploy a hobo logger, and why collecting this type of water quality information is important. First, we are going to start with our 5-way water check. When you open up the package, it's going to have 2 strips per sheet. You are just going to open one. Once you get it open, you can just take a pair of tweezers. And you'll notice that it has the 5 spots for each of the different parameters that we are going to be looking at. Then you are just going to place it in the water, so we have tap water. And you're just going to gently move it around for about 5 seconds. Then you're going to take it and rest it down and wait about 25 seconds to see the color changes that occur. Now that we have waited the 25 seconds, you'll notice that color changes have occurred. So for example, the top color, which is a measure of total hardness, would be considered very hard. So a value of 425 ppm. Next we are going to do the ammonia. So we're going to open it up. Again, use tweezers to take out one strip. Then we're going to place it in the water for about 5 seconds. And then you want to make sure that when you take it out, that the yellow pad is facing upwards. And then you're going to wait about 60 seconds to see the color change. Now that we've waited 1 minute, we'll look at the color change and notice that this is probably about 0. Next we are going to do nitrite and nitrate. Again, take the strip out with tweezers. And this one we were only going to swish around for about 2 seconds. And then again, place it so the pads are facing up. And then wait 60 seconds. Now that we've waited 1 minute, you can see that the values for both are about 0 ppm. Now we are going to move on to the hobo logger. The first part of your hobo logger is going to be your water level logger. This is your water level logger. As you can see on the label, it tells you the range that it should be deployed at. So it shows 0 to 4 meters or 0 to 13 feet. This means that the water level logger should not be deployed any deeper than this, because then it will not function properly. Now, when you have your level logger, there are multiple parts of it. So you'll see here that one side says, "Do not open, damage will result." So this is the side that's all metal. And then you have the other side, which says, "Remove cap to communicate." So this is the black cap, and this is the part that you remove when you attach it to the computer. So as you can see, this unscrews, and then on this side, that's the part of the machine that communicates with your coupler and then communicates with the computer. So you want to make sure that when you launch the logger, that this black cap is on and protecting your instrument. So when you launch the logger into the water, you want to make sure that you put a cable in through this loop You want to make sure that the cable is long enough for you to be able to easily place the logger deep enough into the water and then take it back out when you need to analyze it. Before you do anything with your equipment, you need to download this HoboWare Pro software in order to set up your water level logger for data recording. So in this box, there is the USB base station, which is what you will use to attach to your computer using the USB cord up here. In order to program and set up your logger for recording. Also in this box are a number of couplers. The only coupler that you will be using is this one. And this one is specifically for the water level logger that you have included in your overall kit. These are the 3 pieces of equipment that you are going to be using to set up your water level logger for recording. The first thing that you are going to do is take your optic USB base station and you are going to plug it into the USB drive of your computer. Once you do this, you will flip your base station over and you are going to take this black coupler and place it on to your base station. So this is the back side, and then you will flip it over so that this label is showing. Once that is done, you are going to take your water level logger and unscrew this black cap. When you put this into the coupler, you want to make sure that this flat part, right by this arrow right here, is placed near or lined up with this flat arrow. So what's going to happen is you're going to put it in, and then you're going to twist it, and it's going to lock into place. So now I can't twist it back and forth. And then you'll just lay it flat. Once your device has been successfully connected, you will see at the bottom of the software that it will show you that your water level device is connected. It may take a few minutes for your computer to recognize the device, and you may also have to shut down HoboWare and restart it. To launch your device or to get it ready for deployment, you first need to go to Device, Launch, so here you can change the name of your water level logger. You can also see the battery status, which is good to keep track of so that you make sure it doesn't die when it's out in the field. You also want to make sure that your absolute pressure and the absolute temperature are checked off so that those units are recorded when the water level logger is in the water. You also want to set up your device for recording. So in this logging interval menu, you can change the rate at which your logger collects data. So for example, every minute, every 5 minutes, every 10 minutes, and so on. You also want to set up when it starts taking the information. So you can set it up so that it starts now, at a certain interval, or at a specific date and time. So that way you could just set it up for the date you know that you are going to place it in the water, and then it will automatically start to record. Once you have done all of this, then you will just come over here and hit start. Once you've collected the data and you've gotten your water level logger from the water, you will attach it the same way as you did when you set it up to launch, but instead of hitting launch, you will go to device and then readout, and then that will read the information on your device. In this video, you have learned how to collect water quality information. But why is this data important? It's important for a variety of reasons. One reason this matters is to establish a baseline. Once you have this, when you collect more data in the future, you can compare it to the baseline. This allows you to determine if changes have occurred. If changes have occurred, what might be the reasons behind them? Changes in your data can be interpreted as short-term or long-term changes. An example of a short-term change might be changing water levels resulting from seasonal variation. Examples of this include increased snow melt and higher rainfall events. An example of a long-term change might be parameters relating to a changing climate. Observing fluctuations in water temperature and water levels over longer periods of time can be an indication. Another important example of a changing climate is increased flooding. When flooding occurs, there is an increase in the amount of nutrients that are in the water. This then causes an increase in plants because plants use up those nutrients. With an increase in plants, these plants use up all the oxygen, which causes the amount of oxygen to decrease. The animals that then rely on this oxygen, like fish, also decrease because there is less oxygen for them to breathe, resulting in less fish in the aquatic environment. Understanding these changes is important for making decisions within your community. The final reason that it is important to collect water quality information is because it can directly affect your community. It can help you answer questions that you may have, such as, can you eat the fish? Can you swim in the lake? And is the lake polluted? As you can see, water quality data can help foster decision making in your community and help you see changes within the aquatic environment.